Hello, you multi. Mellifluous, munificent Maltese. Thank you. Sharif I, who has provided the malt mention, because here in the Bothy, in the middle of the Irish Sea, when it comes to whisky reviews, they just don't happen until a malt mention's been malt mentioned. So that's why I've malt mentioned the malt mention. So thank you again to Sharif I for providing it and introducing really Ralphie Review 1042 here at the end of August 2024. And what an interesting time it is for the world of whisky, and in particular for Scotch whisky, because there's a real shakedown going on at the moment in the definition of what is good whisky, what is less good whisky, and what are the brands who connect more assertively with the engaged, discerning whisky customer who wants to know more about whisky beyond the superficial platitudes of standard marketing delivered advertising messaging. And this is why you've come to this channel, because I've been around whisky for 35 years. That's a treble life sentence, by the way. But hey, I'm not complaining. It's been a fascinating journey, and over the years, I've tasted tens of thousands of whiskies, by the way, and other quality spirits, including bourbon and rum and cognac and armagnac, mezcal, and the whole lot. And what I find is that in that journey, there's something I'm always looking for. And I'm looking forward, and I'm looking for my position as a customer, paying my money on which taxes are taken. Because remember, we pay taxes at both ends. We pay taxes as we earn money, and then pay more taxes as we spend money. And that's the system. It's there for a reason. And when we're spending our money, we want value for money. Now, if we're a passive consumer, the brand label will do. The advertising messaging, the familiarity of the bottle shape, that's great. Job done. We're probably mixing the whiskey or having it over ice, and we're not particularly concerned with the actual quality of smell and taste. It's just whiskey. And for many folk, that's as far as they get. But for those who have a more inquiring disposition and who watch YouTube videos about whiskey, yeah, you're welcome. Pour yourself a dram. We're going to be another 20 minutes probably, at least 15. Then we're looking to explore the depth and range of smell and taste that exists across the rainbow spectrum of whisky flavour and smell, in all the regional styles, in all the signatures and characteristics of individual brands like Glenfiddich, like Springbank, like Glenfarclas, like Bladnoch. And it becomes a fascinating journey of many landscapes, which is primarily evolving around smell and taste. And as we get more experience, our smell evolves, our tastes evolve, and inevitably they change. We become more discerning, we become more insightful, and we're looking in our journey to avoid the disappointment of a bad buy. Because we've all bought bad whiskies, and my goodness, I've had my share of bad whiskies that I've paid good money for, and taxes, because you still pay the taxes even if the product's not very good. It's just the way it is. But we learn from experience, and this is why here in this review I'm coming back to a whisky I reviewed last year, this time last year, and it was Kilkerran Heavily Peated Batch 8. This is Kilkerran Heavily Peated Batch 9. These batches are an annual release. They're released at cask strength. They are unchill filtered. They are natural colouring. It says no added colouring and not chill filtered. So immediately, even looking at the label before you taste the product, you know that it's going to be authentic in its delivery. It's going to be the best the cask can deliver without undue processing to diminish the form, the flavour and the experience, because that's what chill filtration does. And then the caramel colourant that often gets put into whiskey, it's there simply to deceive. No other purpose, only to deceive. For the passive consumer, it's not a problem. It doesn't even enter their head that there should be a problem, because they're happy with what they've got. But for the discerning and invested whiskey customer, for you and for I, who spend proportionally more of our money on whiskey, on alcoholic beverages, because they are our long-term hobby, we've got to be aware of this, that there's some brands out there who may disappoint, but there's others which are consistent in the quality they deliver. Different smell, different flavour, could be similar, could be dramatically different, but we trust the brands. And this is a very, very important component of enjoying our whiskey journey, because if you can't trust the brands, you're just not going to spend as much and buy as much, because you don't want to invest in growing disappointment. And the reverse is true. There's a certain number of brands. Here's another one. Here's another absolute banger classic. Dependable, reliable, excellent value, Arran 10-year-old, unchill filtered, 46% natural colour, a delightful, unpeated, soft, grainy island whiskey. Kilkerran is heavily peated. It says so, literally heavily peated. We're getting disclosure here. I've poured 2 glasses, by the way. There's a reason for that. I'll come to that reason shortly. But this is the most recently poured glass that I've not added any water to. This one I have added water to, and I poured it half an hour ago. A big, thick, dry syrup, sultana, rich, grainy, creamy, dense, complex, distinctive, peated single malt. As good. This goes toe to toe with Isla's best offerings, which at the moment, in my opinion, is Kilchoman Sanig. Right, I think that's the best standard peated whiskey coming out of Isla at this moment in time. The nose alone, it just warms your heart. It's reassuring. It's telling you it's okay. You didn't waste your money. It's a reasonably priced whiskey, by the way. And when you get to the taste, your positive first impressions are reinforced, and it lets you upgrade the whole experience further. Taste. Neat. Bright. Super gingery. Touches of chilli, but sweet and sour chilli. Not harsh, bitter chilli. No, not this. Bottled at 59.2%. This is a lot of whiskey. 59.2%. More alcohol, more flavour. Excuse me a second. Get your claws out. Get your claws out, you little brat. Come here. Come here. Come here, you. Oh, you little tricksy little cat. The cat's teasing me. He's coming in, jumping on my knee, putting his paws up my knee, then puts his claws in, stares at me for reaction, and what he wants is me to go outside into the field and play with him. But it's not going to happen. I'm busy. I've got priorities here, as you know. When we add water to this, and you don't have to add water, but you'll never get the full complexity unless you do. This is super high strength, but also it's active maturation. 7, maybe 8 years? 6, possibly 6. Really well made spirit. slower run stills, just pitch perfect to get the maximum phenolic complexity out the peated, malted barley. A masterclass in whisky making. I bought this a year ago. I've added 3 teaspoons, that's 50 millilitres of water. And it's not too much, it's just perfect. It just animates the whole event. It weakens the alcohol. When the alcohol is weakened, it chases off the flavour and it chases off the smell. Now, if I just watered this down to 40%, it would chase off the flavour that doesn't return. And therefore, any whisky at 40% is always get less flavour compared to the same whisky at cask strength. Because the flavour, as it was reduced with water to bottling strength, has dissipated into the air permanently, never to be recovered. Something we need to be aware of. This is why many aficionados, true enthusiasts, gravitate further and further away from standard basic bottlings as palates develop and go for the high strength, naturally presented, integrity made, because it delivers the reward. This is the combination in a whisky, any whisky, which delivers the reward of the experience to its fullest dynamic. Back to the smell now that I've added water. It's a little more green, a little more euthymol, right? Sort of slightly toothpaste. A little bit more winter green. And again, that's dental mouthwash, but in the nicest possible way, you understand. And the phenolics become a little more fragrant, a little more. There's notes of grapefruit oil in there, soft banana, mild apricot, complex ginger, not just one kind of ginger. You've got pickled ginger, green ginger, fresh ginger, dry ginger, ginger and syrup. There's an awful lot going on. It's a busy whisky simply because of the calibre of the new make spirit coming off the stills at Glengyle Distillery. And also the authenticity of the bottling. And also, put the price onto it, you cannot go wrong. This is something that, when I'm not in my blue periods of being a bit despondent about the way the Scotch whisky industry is not looking after Scotch whisky's reputation, I come to the distilleries that are looking after Scotch whisky's reputation, and I want to buy these bottles again and again and again, because I have more confidence that they will provide the reward that I, with my money, have invested in. And exactly the same principle applies to yourself. We go where we have a confident spend. A little bit more about the taste and smell. It's a young whisky. It settles down. It opens up. The water loosens things. We're getting a little bit more creaminess, a little bit sort of the vanilla notes, the slight brulee notes you get from American ex-bourbon casks. And then to top it all off, we have these delightful, rich, grainy, savoury, slightly sour, slightly bitter, but definitely substantial notes that just build out the whole profile, the structure and the form, which results into the delivery of a very fine single malt. And then, as the delicious lemon sour starts to encroach, as the dram changes shape after 10 minutes, we let the glass rest, because we know to anticipate an evolution and a development which can only happen in young non-age statement whiskies when they are made properly in an old school style, which brings us round to the second glass that I poured half an hour ago, and it's settling down. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little bit of Scotch mist appearing. Not as much as appeared in this glass yesterday, because yesterday it was a little bit cooler, right? It's a bit warmer today, so when it's cooler, the mist is more likely to be rapid and a bit more spontaneous. But it's a sign of an authentic disclosure. When they're saying it's not chill filtered, they mean it's not chill filtered. Excuse me a second. Billy, I'm recording, I'm busy. Could you please get off the table before I smack your bottom? Thank you. And stay off the table, please. You're just no. Get off. You're doing this deliberately. Nuisance. You're as bad as your little brother. Don't think you're the boss of me. All the time. I poured this half an hour ago. Same volume, same water. When you smell them, they smell distinctly different. This has become more floral, fragrant, aromatic, and citrusy. The difference isn't just marginal. The difference is significant over that length of time. This is why we can never rush a single malt. We cannot do it because we're getting a distinctively compromised experience. And this is what elevates the Marks, by the way. The range, the delivery of the event. It goes beyond just pure flavour and smell. It's the holistic form, engagement, and the sense of satisfaction as a result of the whisky makers' skills, experience, and their art. It just sits on the tongue and it stays there and it rolls about, the most lemon, candy, barley drenched, soft, intense, phenolic joy of a dram. Very much an outdoors dram, but one at the fireside, absolutely a winter dram. I'm going to stop there. I could wax lyrical about this whisky for another 15 minutes, but you don't have the time and I don't have the time and I don't want to waste your time. So let's give this a malt, Mark. Get off. You're getting barred, by the way. Hey, you want treats, don't you? You want treats. You get the treats. Will you just piss off, pussy? 86 out of 100. When I reviewed the previous batch number 8, and it's a great thing that they batch them because it gives them a timeline, a vintage statement of sorts. I gave it 85 out of 100, which is a high mark. And in a 16-minute review, number 995, if you're interested going to have a look at that one, it was recorded in September, uploaded September the 20th, September 2023, and that was batch 8, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And this review, literally a year later, of the subsequent batch, is really an endorsement by me of the heavily peated range from Kilkerran. It's consistent, it's good, it's exciting. Glengyle Distillery still off many people's radar, despite the fact that it literally sits right next door to Springbank, and the malted barley used in the stills for the wort, for the wash, used in the stills to produce the Kilkerran brand comes from Springbank. Now, for some reason, a lot of people don't realise this. They don't even realise that Springbank own Kilkerran, and that in many ways it's Springbank too. It's the second Springbank. Please be aware of that. I want you to know that so as that you have a bit more insider information to help you with your purchasing decisions, and more importantly than that, to help you be satisfied and appreciative when you've bought a good whisky, that you spent your money wisely and you're being rewarded. We all need that to keep us motivated. But back again for Ralphie Review 1042 Extras, in which I will talk about the evolution of our palate. I'm just going to go through that. It's a really kind of an intro type explanation as to why our tastes change. See you soon.